What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. Multiple different things for you guys here in this video, including a stimulus deadline to apply for $1,000 direct one-time payments that are just 9 days away. We'll cover that here in this video as well. We got multiple things to cover here. So unfortunately, I have some breaking news. Right before this video goes live, Queen Elizabeth has passed away. So yeah, very unfortunately, she has just passed. I was going to put an update in this video that she was under medical supervision, but right as this video was about to go live, she actually passed away. So our thoughts and prayers go out to her family, and it is official here. She died at the age of 96, and Prince Charles is now the King of the United Kingdom. So, wow, that's some breaking news, and all that happened pretty fast. So you can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Obviously, she was a major staple of the United Kingdom and of the world. The student loan debt forgiveness of $10,000 to $20,000 that was passed via executive order by President Joe Biden, and will pass a kind of stimulus relief for 43 million Americans. This has been passed by President Biden, um, and as long as the Republicans don't challenge it in a court of law, which may happen, I'll show you an article here from the other day. Representative Ilhan Omar calls Senator Ted Cruz, Republican from Texas, a quote, miserable little weasel for attempting to overturn Biden's student loan forgiveness that would help 43 million people in court. So some Republicans are considering doing this, and it would potentially take away $10,000 to $20,000 of stimulus relief for 43 million people. I'll keep you up to date on all this, but this is set to happen here next month, as the applications for the student loan forgiveness are set to go live in early October. This is already passed via executive order by the president for 43 million people. So it's already passed, and the applications are set to go live here in October. Once it does, borrowers will have until the end of next year, December 31st, 2023, to apply for the relief. I'll keep you up to date on all this as I watch this stuff on a daily basis. Everything: student loan relief, Social Security raises, stimulus programs, rent assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance. The administration has maintained that the time frame is sufficient for borrowers to apply, which is a year and several months. So that would be a lot of time here. Um, and that the application process will close at the end of next year, so over a year here. At the end of last month, President Biden announced that up to $20,000 in debt cancellation for federal borrowers making under $125,000 a year, while qualification is automatic for about 8 million borrowers whose income is already available to the Education Department, either through a free application for federal student aid form or income-driven repayment plans. But most people will have to fill out forms on the government website studentaid.gov, which is not available yet. Also, the Education Department is assessing whether student loan borrowers with privately held loans could qualify for Biden's debt cancellation as well. So this is something that could also happen. This has not happened yet, but this is something that could happen in the future if you or anybody you know has private student loans. that are not government-backed student loans. So that is something I will keep you up to date here as well. Next up, as we go into the elections, which is still a couple months away here, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer gives a speech here and talks about what has been done and what needs to be done. You can let me know your thoughts here on what he has to say here. Do you think a lot has been done? What more needs to be done? Take a listen.
When Democrats assumed the majority in 2021, I promised we would leave no stone unturned in tackling the biggest challenges facing our country. 20 months later, Democrats have delivered on our promises. We promised to lower costs for the American people in the wake of crippling inflation. So we passed the Inflation Reduction Act to reduce energy costs, reduce health care costs, expand tax breaks for working and middle Americans. We also promised to take on big pharma and lower prescription drug costs. So we passed historic legislation to lower insulin costs for seniors on Medicare, cap out-of-pocket expenses, and empowered Medicare to finally be able to negotiate drug prices. This for the first time ever, long sought after by many Congresses, accomplished by this one. We promised to take on entrenched oil interests and get tough on climate change. And so we passed the largest clean energy package ever, by a long margin, by the way. Thanks to our work, Americans will see their energy bills go down, their savings go up, all while we created millions of new, good-paying jobs and finally dealt with climate change in a very significant and real way. We also promised to bring manufacturing jobs back to America and get tough on adversaries like the Chinese Communist Party. So we passed the CHIPS and Science Act, the largest investment in manufacturing jobs and science research since the aftermath of World War II. And of course, we promised to take on the NRA, as you well know, Mr. President, and protect our kids from gun violence. So we passed the first gun safety bill since the Brady Law 30 years ago, which I was proud to author when I was a member of Congress. Now, none of these accomplishments were easy. They demanded immense patience and persistence above all. But for anyone who thought Washington was broken and couldn't do big things, this Democratic majority has shown that real change is possible. And the results speak for themselves. Jobs across the country remain up. Americans are going back to work. Our supply chains are healing. In fact, freight rates on ocean trade channels have dropped by 60% since January. And as gas prices continue their 2-month drop, we're seeing evidence that inflation might be starting to ease up. Of course, the work isn't done. As we begin this short work period, we have several high-priority items that demand our immediate attention. Before this work period concludes, the Senate must come together to pass a continuing resolution to extend government funding beyond the September 30th deadline. Last week, the administration sent us a request for a number of funding items they'd like us to work on, from aid to Ukraine, pandemic relief, and other items. This process, of course, needs to be bipartisan. Democrats are going to work in good faith to avoid even a hint of a shutdown, and it is my expectation that our Republican colleagues will do the same. We'll also work this month to confirm even more of President Biden's judicial nominees. Later today, the Senate is scheduled to vote to advance the nomination of Judge John Lee to serve as Circuit Court Judge for the 7th Circuit. If confirmed, Judge Lee would make history as the first Asian American judge to sit on the 7th Circuit, joining the proud company of other Biden nominees who are making our courts fairer and more representative of our great country. A graduate of Harvard and Harvard Law School, Judge Lee was unanimously confirmed by this chamber a decade ago to serve as a district judge. In his time on the bench, he's proven himself to be impartial, fair-minded, and committed to the rule of law. Judge Lee will be the first of many judicial nominees that we will advance this month and beyond, because now more than ever, the Senate must make judicial confirmations a top priority. We have a lot of work to do in the Senate to keep improving the lives of the American people. So in the coming weeks, let us continue with the same vigor, the same determination, the same persistence that has made this one of the most productive Senate sessions the Senate has seen in a long, long time. Finally, I want to say a few words on another monumental development that happened over the August recess: student debt cancellation. For the past 2 years, I've repeatedly stated that with a simple flick of a pen, President Biden could lower costs for millions of Americans by canceling their student debt. Everywhere I go, student debt is always front of mind for many of my fellow New Yorkers, as it is for millions across the country. There are many who don't have student debt, many. But for those who do, it's deep. This is not just one of 10 issues. This is the issue that really, really bothers them and motivates them. To have to wake up in the middle of the night saying, how am I going to make that $400 payment next month when my salary doesn't stretch that far? What am I going to cut out of my life? Well, with that long-awaited flick of the pen, President Biden gave tens of millions of Americans a new lease on life by canceling significant amounts of student debt. To President Biden, I say thank you. Thank you for listening to our calls. Thank you for taking action. The President's decision will make it easier for millions of Americans to finally pursue their own American dream, whether that means making that down payment on a house or buying that new car, opening a business, or saving for retirement. It'll help close the racial wealth gap that still holds far too many Americans back. And most of all, it's going to make our economy stronger. Now, over the past few weeks, we've heard a lot of fake outrage from Republicans, saying that canceling student debt is nothing more than a giveaway to wealthy Americans. The same Republicans who made tax cuts for the ultra-rich their #1 priority are suddenly apoplectic at the thought of helping working and middle-class Americans with student debt relief. Well, here's the truth, I say to my Republican colleagues. Among borrowers who are no longer in school, 90% of the debt canceled will go to those earning less than $75,000 a year. The opposite of the tax cuts that Republicans pushed for, where the vast majority of money went to the top 1% and the top 10%. So let me repeat that. Among borrowers who are no longer in school, nearly 90% of the debt being canceled will go to those earning less than $75,000 a year. And let's not forget, a majority of student loans are held by people whose family have zero net worth. Zero. A majority of student loans to families who have zero net worth.
So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. That's why I personally am a fan of the student loan forgiveness, even though I am not benefiting from it. We've already paid off my wife's student loans. I should be mad at it, but I'm not. You heard him say that. That a large majority of Americans have zero net worth that are getting this student loan forgiveness. That's why I think that this is a good thing for 43 million Americans, and that there should be other type of programs like this for people that don't have student loan debt. There should be other type of things like this going forward. We are seeing a lot of things like this here. This was a major federal program. This is federal student loan debt relief. We also have a SNAP food stamp assistance program coming here later this month. We're also seeing a lot of things on the state level as well. 31 different states are doing state stimulus check programs and programs like this. Check this out. The state of Idaho just lowered income tax rates and created a tax rebate check, aka stimulus check, whatever you want to call it. Idaho Governor Brad Little signed legislation lowering the corporate and let me zoom this in here. Lowering the corporate and personal income tax rates and creating a rebate for personal income taxpayers as well. Generally effective on January 1st. Lowering the tax rate imposed on corporations and personal income tax rate as well going forward. So that will save people money going forward, I think every year. And they have also created a tax rebate that will be paid out here of $300 per person, $600 for married couples per joint return, or the greater of 10% of your tax amount, non-taxable rebate. So it's a non-taxable rebate, so you won't be taxed on it, or 10% of the tax amount. So it could be greater than that, but probably most people will get $300 per person or $600 per joint individual for the state of Idaho. These changes are in addition to the changes made earlier in 2022 to reduce corporate and personal income tax rates as well. That was done in February. So multiple different things here for the state of Idaho as well. So this will be coming here soon. I'll keep you up to date on that. Also, Stimulus 2022 deadline to apply for $1,000 direct one-time payments just 9 days away. So this is yet another program here. I'll zoom this one in here. Maryland residents have only a little more than a week to claim a student loan debt relief tax credit of up to $1,000. Yeah, eligible, so up to $1,000. Eligible people living in the state have up until September 15th to apply for the tax credit intended to help people in Maryland who took out student loans to pay for college. So it's interesting that some states actually will help pay for this as well. Going to college, quote, may seem out of reach for Marylanders given the huge expense, but tax credits like these help make it possible. I urge everyone to apply now before time runs out. Maryland Comptroller Peter Franco said in a Southern Maryland Chronicle, any way to bring down the cost of a higher education is a big benefit. So this might apply in other states as well. People who went to out-of-state schools may have smaller credits compared to those who went to colleges and universities within Maryland, according to the state. The credit must be used to help with student loan debt. Otherwise, you may have to repay it. In order to qualify for the tax credit, applicants must have filed state income taxes in Maryland and amassed a student loan of at least $20,000 while maintaining $5,000 or more in unpaid debt. Whether or not a person graduates from the college is not a requirement for the credit. So as you see here, there's all sorts of different types of stimulus programs, and there's 31 different states right now, at least, that are passing state stimulus checks, tax rebates, mortgage assistance, rent assistance, utility assistance, and more. In fact, I just did a major video with multiple different states that are issuing state stimulus checks. I'll link you to that here right now. But if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel. It's completely free to do so. And click the bell icon so you get notifications when we go live with new videos, which is every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. You can click right here to watch my video that goes over millions of people that are getting checks right now. You may have to apply for some of them, but this video goes over multiple different checks that are going out here soon. In fact, in September for some of them. So click on that video next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.